All right, I want to introduce to you Sharon Staley. She has an incredible motivation in her life. It's led her to be an entrepreneur from a very young age, and she was the top listing and selling agent for Century 21 in Ashland, Ohio. She founded Cars Unlimited, which grew into one of the top car dealerships in Ashland. Sharon was the CEO and also president of that dealership. People came from all over the country to purchase cars from her. Her motto was always this: treat other people how you want to be treated. Today, Sharon is building her CCM business and has obtained the rank of regional director, as well as being the CFO of Estate Planning Professionals in Westerville. She has 3 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and is married to that guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sharon Staley.
Well, as I was told, I'm Sharon Staley, Michael Valley's wife. It's always funny when everybody says, "You're Michael Valley's wife," and I say, "Yeah." And they always give me this look. I'm not sure what that's all about, but what I want to talk about is relationships. When I say the word relationship, everybody always comes to some conclusion right off the top. So basically, you're thinking, okay, relationships with my husband, with my wife, with my grandkids, and so forth like that. But when I think about CCM, I think about relationships. So what I did was I didn't go to the dictionary. I went to Google, and I actually Googled to see what relationship came up with. And it said connect, associate, and involved. And I thought, so how did those tie in with relationship with CCM? So I started thinking about connect. And sometimes when I enroll a new broker, I'm a little bit different because I am so detailed oriented. I like everything to be processed. So what I did was I actually came up with a process that I do for new brokers. So I go back to the time when I enrolled, and you can relate with this because you were so overwhelmed. You really didn't know what to do next. So what I do now is I actually send out a welcome email. In this email, I actually put all the websites that I think are really great for the new brokers to go to. I give them contact information, who to contact when they have questions, and I just give them a big detailed list. I also give them a step-by-step instruction list on how to submit a residential bill, which is something everybody needs at the beginning because you really don't understand. And then I've designed a form that this form walks them through how to submit the bill and then how to actually calculate the savings for a client or a potential new utility broker. And then the other thing I do is I always point them to Danny's website because I want them to connect with Danny so that he can start sending them all his newsletters. And then we just started our own newsletter. So I also connect them with that. And I think it's important that you connect with them so that they totally understand that you're there for them. You're there to support them in anything that they need to get their feet planted and get their base built. Because you have to admit, once you have somebody that's totally confused and they really don't understand what they're doing, what do? They're out of the business before they even really get started. So I think it's really important to connect with them. I also try to host a class at least twice a month, and I know a lot of you have been to my classes, and this is just basically training. How do you enroll the utility bills? How do you enroll a new broker? And then how to actually talk to new potential brokers. Because we all know that if you say too much, what happens? You scare them away, you know? So and sometimes you only get one chance. So it's important that you know how to talk to potential brokers. And also motivation. I usually let my husband do it. Danny does it at a lot of our events, just so that you can motivate them, because we all need that once in a while, you know? The other thing, other than connect, is you have to associate with your team. And you're like, associate with my team? Well, your team needs to know who you are. How many times do you look in your back office and somebody on your team's enrolled somebody else? And you're like, wonder who that person is. You need to associate with them. You need them to know who you are so you can be there for support for them. You need to attend all the meetings. A lot of our team have meetings that we attend just so that I can associate with them and I can know who they are and they can know who I am. And then we also do a lot of the tours of IGS, and I know we've spoke a lot of that, but I think it's so important for every new broker to see IGS. What an awesome facility. How many here have actually got to see IGS? If you haven't, you're missing it. You need to go see IGS. As soon as you see it, it just takes the whole CCM to a new level. And then the other thing is, sometimes I forget that, this is actually a business. And I know my husband will tell you that. A lot of times I'm so busy talking and helping and coaching and just building relationships that I forget I'm even doing this as a business. It just becomes so natural. So that's, I think, is really important when you associate with them. And I know we all have such busy schedules. I mean, my life sometimes is so crazy, I don't even know how I'm possibly going to fit anything else in. But what I've done is, everybody has their iPhones or their device that they can keep their calendar in. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work at all because I'm trying to figure out what's going on, what's next, and it doesn't work. So what I've done is on Sunday night, and I don't do this on Monday because if I start on Monday, a lot of times I get into my office or I get up and things are just coming at me as fast as they possibly can. So I do it on Sunday night. I actually lay my calendar out and I'll put the stuff I need to do for work, but then I sit down and I look at what I need to do for CCM. The first thing I do is, okay, I've got to have a time that I can allot that I need to call my present brokers or text them. I need to be in constant contact with them. So I put the time on my calendar. The next thing I always do is I put time when I can actually do some personal training for myself. Watch some of Danny's videos on Danny's website, some of the webinars we've put on there. And Danny and I just recently did do a lot of the videos on how to do residential utility bills. Cameron's got the commercial utility bills, how to enroll them on the website on your back office. And just other videos. I just like things in front of me, so it just keeps my mind fresh so I can remember, keep myself centered. And then I also have a time that I want to connect with however many brokers, new potential brokers. My goal is 5 a week. And it's not always that at the beginning of the week I can actually put 5 different names down because sometimes I'm out and about or somebody comes into the office and I'm like, oh, yeah, that person would be good. So sometimes I'll just put 1 or 2 names down and then I just let the rest of the week come because I know they're going to come to me when I think about them. The other thing that I do is I always make a list of who I've spoke with. And I know when you join our team, I always give you a big spreadsheet that you can actually put names down. And what I do in this booklet is I go back to it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I did talk to this person 2 weeks ago. I need to go back and call them again. Because I found that if you don't keep this list, when they're out of sight, they're out of mind, and you totally forget who they are. So it's great to keep a running list so that you actually know who you need to get back in touch with. So this is just kind of the things that I do for my week. And I found if I don't do this, then I don't stick to my calendar and I don't stick to it. So I just have an actual calendar that I can open up and see the whole week at a glance. The other thing that I always do is I mark the days that I'm going to go to meetings or I'm going to have a meeting or I'm going to attend a meeting. So I make sure that's on my calendar right from the start. So that's how I associate. Now lastly, I want to talk about being involved. And you're already thinking, how can I be involved? I'm connecting, I'm associated, but how can I be involved? Well, the thing I love about being involved is you actually have to do what you're asking your brokers to do. You need to go out and you need to gather utility bills, whether it be residential or commercial. You need to be talking to potential brokers. You need to be going to the meetings. You need to be involved. Because if you can't be an example to your team, I mean, who's going to be? You've got to be an example and you've got to be involved. The other thing I found is you've got to be familiar with the market because you know it's constantly going up and down. Know what the rates are when somebody asks you. Just be familiar so that when somebody throws something at you, you don't give them that look of that stare like you don't know what you're talking about. The other thing that I love is when Danny started this 90-day challenge, and it seems like it's been a while we've been working on it, but if you think back to that, when he was telling us, okay, what do we need to do to be prepared for this awesome event we're having today? We need to be challenged. And he's told us, go out, talk to brokers, put this many people in the business and so forth. The thing that I totally loved about Danny was every time we would see Danny at a meeting, he was doing exactly what he asked us to do. exactly what he asked us to do. So Danny was involved. He was a perfect example of the leader that he is, telling us what we need to do so that we can be involved just like he was. You know, to me, when I still think about CCM, I still think about it, relationships and how we're building it with each other. And I look out here over everybody that's here, and I know so many more people than I did when we started. You know, and I look forward to meeting even more. And we're kind of like a big family. And I'd love to hear when my team and even other team members, they call me up and they say, hey, Sharon, I've got this person that I've been talking to. I think I'm going to get their account. And I hear how excited they are. That is just so awesome for me to know how much fun it is. And you have to admit, when you've got a new customer that you think's coming on board, or even a new broker, you want somebody that you can tell, because it just makes it sound so real when you can do that. So I just feel, to me, CCM is all about relationships. We're connecting, we're associated, and we're being involved. Thank you, and God bless.